it's PuddyGeeks again, cosplay hero for Place Tangy Cape, and we are at MCM London, October. If you want to introduce yourself and what it is you do here when you come to con.
My name's Jamie Flack. I am a cosplay photographer under the name Cat and Crown Artwork, and I basically just come here to take pictures and help capture some nice cosplays.
First of all, what made you decide to do cosplay photography in particular?
I used to cosplay as well, so I used to dress up as characters from like Avatar and all that kind of stuff.
Oh wow!
And I used to bring like my little sort of digital camera with me and everything like that, and that was, I ended up sort of taking pictures of like the groups and everything. And I did photography at A-level anyway,
right?
But I kind of stopped it for a while, and then I started again, and I thought there wasn't really much a better place to start than back with like loads of interesting costumes, variety and all that kind of stuff, and a lot of my friends do it as well. So so that's the sort of main reason. It's
different from doing any other kind of
it
photography.
is. Yeah, it's harder.
What kind of cosplay is your favourite to shoot?
I like big, extravagant kind of cosplays.
Right.
Big fan of armour and like large-scale weapons and all that kind of stuff. Like, I know a few people who prefer the kind of like the lingerie side of stuff.
Yeah.
I prefer as big and as heavy kind of set armour and magic and all that kind of stuff, because you can capture so much more detail.
Yeah.
And all that kind of stuff. So.
And I know you kind of delve into the special effects sometimes.
Yeah,
so I suppose that gives you more scope.
Because I'm a painter normally. I was a painter first before I was a photographer, digital painter. So I get to add in all the special effects and lights and magic and lightning and fire and all that kind of stuff into my work. So yeah, it's good.
That's really cool. Is there anything that would draw you specifically to a cosplayer? If you're walking the con halls looking for someone to shoot, what would draw you in?
Well, I tend not to shoot people in con halls anymore. It's usually outside, because whatever convention you go to, the lighting will be terrible inside. At this con in particular, they always have these really hideous orange carpets.
Yeah.
So everyone looks tangoed because the light reflects off the ceiling right up to the necks and everything like that. So, but when I used to, it would just be stuff that like I enjoy. So Avatar, Aliens, all that kind of just like fantasy and sci-fi
like your own
and everything
fandoms.
like that. Yeah, that sort of thing. And if the people look approachable as well, you always have to make sure that you ask people's opinion. Yeah. And you're like, oh, do you mind if I take a photo? And if they say, if they go, oh yeah, go ahead, then you go for it more. Whereas they're like, oh yeah, okay, quick. So then they're like, you know what, it's fine, don't worry, I won't worry you, it's not a problem.
So it's just seeing how people react.
Yeah, you have to gauge their interest more often than not.
So a lot recently I've been hearing people say that photographers are often unappreciated compared to cosplayers for the work and the time that goes into what you do. Do you feel that's true?
I think it's a bit of a mixed bag, really. Considering when I opened up my time slots for this con, I was booked out within 2 hours.
Wow.
Over 3 days, and that was really nice. It's really nice that people want to work with me. But there were a couple of people. So I've actually been doing May photography right up until 2 days ago. Like I still haven't finished my photography from May because I've been doing loads of other stuff. But there was one. There's only been a few incidents like that. But there was one girl. I posted a picture of her, and she said, "Oh, I love this one. This is absolutely lovely." Because I didn't really like the other one you did for me. I didn't like it at all. And I was like, I understand if you felt that way, but you didn't need to post it on the photo for everyone to see.
No.
And it's made me not want to work with that person
of course.
again. Not in like a kind of a petty way, but it's just sort of like if you don't appreciate the time and effort that goes into editing the photos, then that's absolutely fine. I just won't work with you again.
It's a waste of your time.
Because there are people that have missed out for a slot that you took.
Yeah.
So I can understand it. I mean, I personally have like a really nice circle of people that want to work with me.
You work with regularly?
Yeah, quite a lot. And more often than not, it's because I love those people. So even if it's not a cosplay that I want to shoot, or it's a cosplay that perhaps I don't think is really up to scratch, sometimes I will still take photos because they've put a lot of hard work into it and they want it to be captured. So even if it's just like a quick few photos, I know that they will really appreciate it. That sort of thing.
And it makes it more fun for you.
So it is, exactly. So it's more often than not, and a lot of the time people commission me work afterwards as well. So it's not. Yeah, exactly. So I find that now that I've got a little bit of a name for myself, people tend to approach me more than I used to approach them. So it's a bit of a mixed bag, I would say.
And do you think there's much that can be done, particularly by cosplayers, to kind of support photographers to help them feel a bit more kind of appreciated?
Likes on pages, so Instagram, specialized Facebook pages, because the algorithms on them, they've all changed. Everything, nothing has changed. I've got 2,000 odd followers on Instagram, which isn't much for compared to some people and all that kind of stuff. But every time I post a cosplay picture, it'll get you can get mostly about sort of like 70, which sounds like a lot, but compared to how many people that are following, they messed up the algorithms. The reach is different, the tagging system is different. So if you're paying attention to that cosplay photographer, commenting, liking, pointing out why you like a certain picture, what's drawn you to this picture is always nice. That's, it makes you feel like your hard work has actually been noticed.
Being appreciated as well.
And there's always stuff like, leaving reviews on pages.
Right.
There's potentially commissioning your photographers. A lot of photographers do things like the Ko-fi and not Patreon, but there was another one as well. It's like not GoFundMe either, but there are little ways and everything like that. It's not necessary by any means, because a lot of photographers do it because they enjoy it. Yeah. But if you really enjoy their work and you don't feel that they're being appreciated, then you have to make that little step forward to be like, I really appreciate your work. Can I buy some photography off of you? So that sort of thing.
Personally, it would be nice to see the photographers getting a bit more support as well. There's a lot more Patreon, and there's a lot more awareness of the work that goes on the cosplay side. But I think it would be nice.
The problem is with Patreon and stuff like that is that you get the impression that you're money grabbing sort of thing, and it's sort of like, oh, you can't see this content unless you pay for it. And that's not what a lot of people are about. It's just that for a lot of people, cosplayers do it more than I'd say cosplay photographers do it. But it's sort of like, I have to fund this, but there is no money making. That you can't be a professional cosplayer very easily at all. Like you get a handful of them, and they're across the world, not just in England. So people are sort of like, well, I've been following you for years. Why would I pay for your content now, sort of thing? So it's exactly.
It,
So it's a sort of a person by person basis. And you just have to kind of gauge the right people for that sort of thing.
And what you feel they're doing it for.
Yeah, exactly.
Whether you feel we should support them. Fair enough. Okay, got an unusual one for you now. So what's the strangest thing you've done to get the perfect shot?
Today's not a good example because I threw my back out at the gym on Friday, so I've been hobbling around everywhere. People have been carrying all my stuff for me, which is really sweet. This is sort of like, so I have to get it checked. I've got this massive bag that I haven't brought with me. But it's got a tripod, 2 eye slides, the flash, and loads of other stuff in it. And they keep checking. It's like, what's this? And it's like, it's just a light. I swear to God, it's just a light, sort of thing. But most of the time, I'm rolling around on the floor because I've got a fixed mirror lens and a fixed mirror camera, so it doesn't zoom in. Right. But it's very close up in order to achieve like a real depth of field and all that kind of stuff. And so it's, because it's so close, I have to go about 300 flipping meters away from any subject that I'm shooting. So I'll be rolling around on the floor, jumping up on walls and all that kind of stuff. And I am quite athletic normally, but at the moment I'm just sort of like just hunched over, just kind of like, you move back. Sort of thing.
You move, I'm staying here.
Yeah, so I mean, that would probably be the weirdest thing. I don't like, because a lot of photographers, they'll like trespass on like certain areas. And all. There's a ruin just over the river from here. I think you probably know it, like the Miller building. And a photographer that I know went in there and like they got thrown out because the building was falling down. So it's kind of like it's like, I really love photography, but I don't want to die.
It's not worth the risk. No. I must admit, I've looked at that before for this particular costume. There's a lot of ruined buildings, and been in my head thinking, I'd love to get in there, but I'm not that desperate. It's not worth it. It's not worth the potential. And potentially getting like arrested as well. You're like, it's not worth it for some photos.
Exactly.
What advice would you give someone wanting to start in cosplay photography?
It's hard to say because. So I have a few people that like come to me to teach them, as it were, because I do graphic design, I do photography, and I do illustration. It's kind of like I do a lot of mixed things. So a lot of people are like, oh, how'd you do that? And it's like, well, it's hard to say because I'm a painter, sort of thing. But with general cosplay photography, it's like I would always try to remind people that you have to enjoy it. Yeah. If you don't enjoy coming to a convention, being a bit stressed out, going around I've just come from the other end of the hall and everything like that, all the way up, all the way back down, lots of crowds, people getting in the way, people sniping your shots. Then you're not gonna. It's not for you.
It's not a controlled environment.
It's not a controlled environment at all. There is no, and I have to remind myself of this because I see a lot of people's photography, and I'm like, oh, how'd they get that? That's amazing, sort of thing. It's like, it's a lot of the time pure chance and pure equipment. You know, there's no written rule for going around a con hall. You might find somebody that you were desperate to shoot with, but they're just like, nah, don't want to shoot with you, bye. You just can't take it personally.
No.
You know, and try not to think of it as a competition.
Okay.
Because I did when I first started. I was like, oh, I want to be the best photographer, everything. And it's just not. It's not about that. It's about having fun and capturing people's hard work and them appreciating the work that you do back a lot of the time. But it's start small, work your way up, and most of all, just kind of enjoy yourself. Otherwise, there's literally no point, because you're spending a lot of money to get here, a lot of money on photography equipment, and if you're not enjoying yourself, what's the point? You know,
very
that
true.
sort of thing.
Okay, what advice would you give new cosplayers about shooting for the first time? Because a lot of us don't get into like a proper shoot for a while. We're taking pictures on our phones and that. And the first time a photographer with a big camera approaches you, you're a bit like...
A little bit nervous.
What am I doing?
Because I was like that too. When I was a cosplayer as well, I was like, okay, sort of thing. But it is, you're kind of like, what do I do, sort of thing. The way that I work with people is that I always, for a start, I always ask permission to move people. You have to be really, really, like, I don't want to say you have to be really careful, but you have to be considerate.
Yes.
So it's sort of like, especially with girls in particular, because they might be wearing something a little bit more revealing. They might be wearing a skimpier outfit, but that is no excuse to kind of just go like, oh yeah, just move like this, because a lot of people are like that, and it gives it a bit of a bad name.
Yeah.
But when it comes to just kind of like just dealing with people on basis, just if you're a cosplayer and there's a photographer, it's like, oh, do you mind if I take a picture? I'd just be like, oh yeah, do you want me to pose any particular way? That photographer might not have any idea what anime you're from, what film you're from, or anything like that. So if you say, oh well, the character does this, would you mind if I did this? I would love to catch this, sort of thing, and all that kind of stuff.
So it's just ask for guidance. Yeah,
because sometimes the photographer won't know what they're doing either. They just might think, oh my god, that's a really cool costume. What's it from?
Yeah.
Sort of thing, you know. It's
Give
like,
me something.
do you know what it is? No, I don't. Sort of thing. So it's just like, just as always with any kind of working person, just be polite, be, you know, but also to a certain extent, if they're making you feel uncomfortable, if you're not happy with the shots or anything like that, be grateful that they've taken them, but at the same time say, I'd really like, you know, something like this, would you mind popping that? Because it is just an exchange between two people.
Yeah.
There's no reason to kind of blow it out of proportion and make it think like, oh my god, this is a really amazing cosplayer, I feel nervous, or oh my god, this is a really amazing photographer, I feel so nervous. You know, it just has to be balanced between both ends, and that way you get the best photos.
Okay, brilliant. One last question then. What's your opinion on how the cosplay community has changed since you first became involved in it?
That's
a loaded question there.
I mean, I've been coming to Comic-Con, this particular Comic-Con, for the better part of like 5 years now. I stay out of the cosplay community by and large. There are a lot of nice people. I've met a lot of nice people, but I meet them as a result of photography. I don't, and just generalising and going out afterwards. Because then when people are chilled out, they're much easier to get on with. Yeah.
Than during the day when we're all running around like headless
stressed,
chickens.
Everyone's got stuff to do. Everyone's busy, and everyone's sweating. Nobody has deodorant, so it's just. But I have noticed a distinct change in the last couple of years. There is a feeling of, there is this thing called like a professional cosplayer sort of thing, and I don't think that's really a thing. There are cosplayers who make money off of their work, which is absolutely fine, because some of them are absolutely stunning. Yeah. But there's this kind of feeling that if you're not professional, you're not worth working with, or your cosplay is not good enough, or you're body shaming this, you're body shaming that. If somebody's having fun, then leave them to it, is my kind of mentality. So I stopped following the MCM group, for example. That's no dig at MCM or anything like that. It's just because there's a lot of stuff that just happens when a lot of various people meet. And I think that people mistakenly believe that because you're all cosplayers, or because you're all into the same anime or the same film, this sort of thing, you're instantly going to get along. There's a lot of conflicts of personalities and a lot of conflicts of just general interest that people seem to think will disappear immediately in an environment like this. And that can lead to people being inappropriate, or it can be aggressive, all that kind of stuff. And you just have to be really careful. So I tend to work with people that I know and let them introduce me to other people, because then I have that kind of almost guarantee that I know that this person's going to be courteous, going to be respectful, because my time is busy just as much as theirs is.
Of course.
And all that kind of stuff. But by and large, I kind of stay out of it because it's just, it's not really worth the trouble.
It feels like, I mean, I've been in almost the same kind of time as you, about 4.5 years now, and it feels like there's been a lot of change in a very short time.
Yeah, and I think that's because London MCM in particular has grown like exponentially.
It's exploded.
Yeah, and there was this, it's kind of like the Big Bang kind of theory sort of thing. There's this kind of belief that there are the people who came before it was popular, and they kind of believe like, oh, this isn't for regular people, this is just for us, sort of thing. And you do get people on both sides of the fence, absolutely. You get people who are just coming recently, who have just got into Marvel films, and they're like, God, this place is full of nerds, and it's like, yeah, it's a Comic-Con. Yeah. But on the other hand, you get the people who are like, oh, you're a fake person, you're a fake gamer, all that kind of stuff. So you get that kind of imbalance because people have just been, So I avoid, but I'm still kind of involved as much as I can be.
Still a good place to be. You just have to be a bit more careful now.
Exactly that.
Thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. And I hope you guys have got some helpful tips from this. And we'll see you again another time.
Yeah,
Thank
brilliant.
you.